I wish that the government was actually stepping in a little bit more and going, "Hey, no, you can't do this. You can't do this because you literally got all this stuff for free. So you having $1 million profits is not kosher. You're supposed to be providing to the community, and you're supposed to be providing it at a very affordable price because it was donated in the first place. Clothing honestly shouldn't be over more than like $2-3 a piece, and then for like everything else. So far, the weather in Cali it's a little bit warmer than it was last week, but overall, it's doing pretty good. So I'm not complaining. I'm honestly not complaining. Yeah, yeah. I was talking about. I talk so much. I talk so much shit about Goodwill and Salvation Army, but like just like a lot of the big retail thrift stores in general are starting to piss me off. We've got one called, I think it's Beacon. It's here in Long Beach. It's kind of a larger store. They have some of the more antique-ish stuff. They're not antiques. Antiques, you can just tell that like older people donated at some point in time, or their grandkids who are like, I cannot take this all into my small studio apartment. So, but they are like charging sometimes close to full retail prices for shit, and I'm like, that shouldn't be legal. That just straight up should not be legal. You're a thrift store. People are literally donating everything. You have no overhead other than keeping the lights on and, you know, what, rent on the store. That's about it. You're not buying anything. So you can't go, oh, well, we had to buy $100,000 worth of product. We need to be able to make at least, 500,000 back so that we can pay all of our workers and da 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 da. I'm like, you're paying like 10,000 a month to keep the lights on and for the rent on the space and water and insurance. You could literally make 100,000 doing nothing and just pricing everything at $1 a piece. So like, sorry, let me take these out because I am going to eat something and I don't want to swallow a thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like when you can't afford things at a thrift store, there's a problem. There is a problem in society when even thrift stores become unaffordable. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And here's the funny thing is like anything that doesn't sell, anything that they cannot get rid of, they can throw away. And they can write it off on their taxes. So it's not like they're taking a big hit by taking, a lot of these things in. Some things need to have a washer dryer session. But yeah, like overall it's not like they're taking much of a risk. And you should always, always, always wash anything that you get from a thrift store. Like, give it a good thorough wash, give it a good sun bath, just to make sure. Mm. Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing I've noticed is the uptick in thrift stores, like the big box thrift stores, carrying toiletry items. I'm like, if the thrift store suddenly becomes not like a convenience store, but like a place where you're getting your toiletries, your diapers, like essential home goods. Again, that's where something has kind of gone off the rails because again, they are charging near retail prices for everything now. Mm. It's all right. It's a brownie with a whipped peanut butter frosting, and I really got the recipe right this time. But yeah. You know me, I whinge on and on. But, fair enough and funny enough, I at least do appreciate, like, the local thrift stores. They tend to keep it a little bit more in line with not too high, not too much. In from Jersey, it's chilly tonight. Definitely hoodie. Oh, I love hoodie weather. I freaking love hoodie weather. I laugh only because honestly, TJ Maxx and Ross and Marshalls are all doing a better job at being like thrift stores than thrift stores are. It's wild. So, TJ Maxx, Ross, I think like Marshalls, Steinmart, what's Big Lots? Those are all discount stores. Those are all like, it's not so much that they got everything donated, it's that they bought giant lots of like overproduced products at a deeply discounted price. And all of the big companies are happy to sell to them because they're like, okay, the season's over. We need to make room for the next season's goods. We need to offload some of this and we need to recoup some of the cost. So they'll like sell it anywhere from like 70 to 90% discount to these big lot stores, and they take it all in and they distribute it as need be, and then they sell it at a very decently reduced price. So yeah. Oh hey, there we go. I honestly, you could get an entire like year's wardrobe from Ross for like $200-$300, which, you know, when you're a kid growing up, $200-$300, that's a lot of money. But you could easily wear that clothing for like 2-3 years. Easily wear for 2-3 years, bare minimum. And really get your money's worth out. And then only need to go into like supplement for like, oh, well, you know, colder than normal. Okay, we've got to, you know, get a couple layers. Oh, we need a jacket because you outgrew your last one. Oh, we need some new shoes, but your feet keep growing too fast. So we're going to get you the inexpensive but good pair, right? Love them. Absolutely adore them. Target and Walmart tried to take over kind of their spot or position as budget places to go to, without realizing that they didn't have to compete with those stores. The same group will go to Ross, Marshalls, TJ's, Walmart, Target. Like, like, dude, it's not competition. It's honestly not competition. Just do what you gotta do. Don't overthink it. Actually, yeah, I never thought to ask that question. Does Ross send their stuff, or, you know, places like it, do they send their stuff to liquidation if it doesn't sell? Which liquidation is basically hand us a penny, we'll give you everything kind of thing. It's like super deep discount. Because again, you're trying to recoup some of the cost that you spent getting the thing, but now it needs to move on as you move new product in. There's a whole system, a whole chain reaction in place for, you know, when goods are made brand new, here it goes to your store, and then it goes to your discount store, and then it goes into liquidation, and, you know, gets repurposed and recycled there. I actually appreciate that particular type of supply chain. I have respect, at least, for that kind of supply chain. The places I don't like are the places that get, you know, all this brand new fancy product in, and then instead of moving it down the supply chain so others can have it and use it, because these are still useful items, they go out and they destroy them. I'm looking at you, Abercrombie and Fitch. I'm looking at you, Whole Foods. Like, when they just decide, fuck it, we're just gonna destroy it all when it's still good, like, I have to look at them sideways. Like, that should not be legal. I know that in France, I think it was in France, they I think they passed a bill where like grocery stores couldn't just throw food into the garbage. They had to like donate it. So like if it was like a day away from the expiration or best by date, they had to go ahead and just give it to local charities so the charities could distribute it. And honestly, I'm here for that. See, I love it. You were one of the good managers. We appreciate you. Thank you. Because honestly, sometimes sometimes you find something like with a little bit of a mark or a stain on it, and the manager's like, "Oh, you're right. This is a damaged item." Like it was a no nothing. It was a tiny something that was easily gonna clean off anyways. Oh my goodness, you're right. It is damaged. You're like, thank you, Jesus. I was running on a tight margin, but you just saved me a couple bucks. Thank you. Like it did it. Honestly, managers like you have no idea how important you were to people who are especially low income. Seriously. Aw. Heck yeah. Well, because here's the thing. Workers respect a good boss. A lot of these bosses out here that are like, oh, these people just don't want to work anymore. No, nobody wants to work for you because you're a shitty person. You're not a good manager. You're not a good shift lead. You're a raging like, I napped. I don't know if I enjoyed it. I think I passed out more or less. Which, oh my god, all tomorrow I have got to like clean and get as much organized and kind of slid away so that I guess people can come in and take a look at what's going on in here. So yeah, hopefully I can also get some damn content made. But yeah, I'm trying to decide what I want to do. So, what's up with everybody? How are we doing? Hello. I've got a little bit of a double stream going on. We've got Twitch and YouTube over on this side, and then over here we've got our ever so lovely TikTok. Once I get the streaming codes and whatnot, I'll probably also throw TikTok over there as well. And let me run this up the flagpole past y'all. I've been thinking about paying for the verification on Twitter only so I can get it linked to my overall OBS so that I can stream on there as well. So like literally multi-stream platforms and do it that way. So it's like $11. I'm trying because my dislike of Muskie Boy runs super deep, but at the same point in time, I need to grow my audience if I'm going to grow my audience across all the other platforms I'm on. So, like, I hate it. I hate it, but I love it, but I hate it, but I love it. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's $11 monthly. I think it's $11 monthly. I was thinking of doing like 1 month and seeing if that would it actually like expand my audience range, and if it paid dividends basically. If it actually broadened my audience and got people to go where people wanted to go, I might keep it. But if it added actually no value to my overall audience, then I'd be like, eh. By the way, thank you for the holy crap. We're almost at 9K already. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all the likes, the loves, the shares, the everything. Thank you. I've got to update some calendars. Shit, I got to update it. Yeah. So yeah, that would add one more. Yeah. It's a whole thing. But yeah. Like, yeah. Could be a good thing. Could be a good thing. Sorry. Thought process. Oh, yeah. Hey, thank you so much for joining the group, the team. Likes, shares, subscribes. Mostly the likes and shares and the banters is the most helpful to me, so thank you. I don't know why my brain keeps just wandering off. I've got way too much on my brain. Just all the stuff that I need to get done, all the stuff I want to get done. I'm still trying to be mindful of my back. But also I've got to get this more or less in order and get any put away. Luckily I don't have too much of that stuff, but still I gotta get that all put away and moved around, and I've got a day to do that. Ugh. Fuck. Hey. What's up, my good people? How goes? Oh yeah. Trust me, I I had so much trouble like engaging with the camera because I was like staring at it going, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, even now, like, if there's not a healthy banter, or at least a good amount of something going on, like, I don't always know what to do with myself. Hence the reason I usually have tarot cards with me, because I can sit there and riffle. But yeah, it's like, it's really hard to know where to start sometimes. Because you're just like, do I just sit here? Do I start talking to myself? Like, that, or, like, sometimes I was doing artwork and I would get, like, so hyper-focused on the art, I would miss that people were coming in, and I'm like, oh my god, I felt like an asshole, because it feels rude not to greet people when they come in. So, yeah. Oh, I thought I was strong like bull, and picked up a tote that I thought was much lighter. So I picked it up with a lot more force, and it turned out it was much more heavily weighted, and I ended up really stressing the back muscles on one side badly. And they started to lock up, and they had to spasm, so I had to work those out for a couple days and, like, get them to release. So yeah, I was pretty much flat out for a few days. I don't have a TENS machine, but I had a deep tissue massager, one of those, like, plugged it in, the battery comes on, and it didn't work. It wasn't translating to the motor, and I'm like, my back is an absolute hell, and you're telling me now that my massager does not work, and the only other massager I have doesn't work for that, or nope, doesn't work for that. I was like, damn it! I'm like, yeah, if I had had a TENS unit, I probably would have been better off. But luckily I do have, like, my pregnancy sling, which works really nicely to help relieve some of the stress at the forefront. And then I have a really nice, like, heated massaging pad, so that really helped. But, yeah. Yeah, no, I would say a TENS probably works much better, but I work with what I got. And yes, I did have that moment of, damn you, you're too small! For once, size does matter! Nope, I don't remember you, darling. Right. Yeah, like the other massager is a different type of deep tissue massager. Not quite the same. And nothing is worse than going, maybe, just maybe, I can get a little serotonin. Maybe that'll help. And instead, your back goes, I see what you're going for, but now we're going to give you the mother of all Charlie horses instead. And you're like, no! Why? Bastard. Oh, I just had a little bit of something to eat, so I went ahead and took the fangs out so I wouldn't accidentally swallow them. It's been a long day. Right? Right? It's like, I was doing so good, and then, Charlie horse, no. I'm like, what monster in the universe goes, you know, this person is almost to that happy nirvana spot. Quick, throw a Charlie horse in there. What the fuck is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, why would you do that to someone? Talk about not fair. Oh, goodness. Trying to decide what I want to wear tomorrow. Because I think I want tomorrow to be a short day, not necessarily a long day. Because I've got to get so much like cleaning and reorganizing done, and I'm trying to do it without picking anything up. Or at least not tempting the devil too quickly, as it were. So yeah. Maybe the Starry Night? I'll show you the Starry Night real quick. It doesn't have the dark tones of the Starry Night. It had the light, sunny, cloudy tones. So really cute. And then, so it comes up like this. So you have a nice big open back. And these really cute little ties. Yeah. Ta-da. So yeah, I think it's really cute. I really do kind of like it. It's almost that bubble-esque skirt. I think maybe I'll wear that tomorrow. That didn't move. If this life could get a little bit easier, please, for everybody. I kind of need just the next couple of years to calm its tits. I say as the world has decided to actively shit itself. I can hope. We can hope for the merging of another universe. I don't know. Alternate timeline. Can we hop over to one of the good ones? One of the ones where Diddy and practically everybody that was on those after party lists goes to jail and gets buried under it. That'd be nice. That'd be a nice timeline. Ooh, that timeline where 800 billionaires actually paid their fair share. That would be a nice timeline. And if somebody ever, and I do mean ever, tells me, especially to my face, that 800 billionaires earned that money, I will spit in their face for free. Billionaires did not earn those billions. Billionaires exploited workers. Millionaires, the ones right under them, also very likely helped to exploit those workers. Like, they did not earn that money. Oh, but Bill Gates started that company out of his garage. No, Bill Gates started that company out of his parents' garage. And his parents invested something like $250,000. And they didn't have like a tiny suburban garage. It was a big ass garage. It was big enough that you could have a full fucking company in their garage. So it wasn't like he was, working collecting Coke bottles so that he could turn it into recycling so he could go buy the scrap metal so that he could hand forge each, microchip circuit board. Like, no, motherfucker, no. Oh, dude, seriously. Electric bills are out of fucking control. Like, no shit. Right? Like, honestly, I don't even need to meet Shannon Sharp at this point. I just wanna live my well provided for housewife soft dom life fantasies, okay? I just want to have a comfortable life where I have more than enough money that I can like invest in like local artists, invest in local food, like take care of the community that is around me, the community that I value online, and like if people need help getting things, I can actually put in a good chunk of change towards helping them get those damn things. Like I'm so tired of like seeing people who are like I'm $100 away from not being evicted, and I'm like, the fact that you can get evicted for not having like $100, the fact like you're already paying like 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, and your landlord is just like, nope, nope, we're not going to accept that 2,000 or the $1,900 that you have. It has to be the full 2,000 or nothing. Like, what? And they are the ones that are already like, oh, what was that whole scandal? It's still currently going on where the FBI like raided corporations because they were all using the same pricing software, because the pricing software let the corporations know what the other guy was charging, and so they were basically coordinating using this software so that they could all jack the market up at the exact same time and then leave people with little to no choice. They couldn't go, oh, well, I'm going over here because it's cheaper. They're like, oh, no, everywhere is more expensive all at once because, Bob told Bill, told Richard, hey, I'm raising rent by like $200. Oh, okay, we'll raise rent by $200 as well. Like, what the fuck? And like, people don't, like, the people, when I say people, I mean like just regular ass people. It's not like we can just go, fuck your prices, we're just gonna buy property. None of us can fucking afford that. And right now, the market apparently on housing is about to crash in the most horrific way because places like Zillow and BlackRock and a bunch of other places, the big guys, bought up a bunch of the housing thinking that they could just flip it, not realizing that they were jacking the prices up so goddamn high that nobody could afford it. And nobody can afford it, even now. So, yeah. Right? Right? Oh, hey, James, how you doing? Thank you so much. Yeah, no, when I first moved in here, they took 2 months worth of rent. So it started at $1,600. So I paid $1,600 for the first month of rent, and then 2 months worth of rent as deposit. So, Jesus, that was $5,000. Ugh. Too much money. Too much fucking money. Of course it is not on. My back is still recovering a little bit. Even I had to recognize when I did a test run of putting it on. I'm like, no, my back's not quite there. But I did find my red one. I now just need to locate my grommet set and my setting tool. and need to replace like 1 or 2 grommets on there. Hopefully the rest of them will hold. But yeah, I do need to invest in like a new tool overall, but I'm hoping to do that as I get into the new year, because I really want to get back into making corsets, not just for myself, but just because the love of corsets is really coming back to be strong. So yeah, yep, 4,800 to move fully into my 1 bedroom triplex apartment. And then the next year, they raised my rent by $100, and they just raised my rent by another $100 yet again. So yeah, I'm kind of very ready to be the fuck out of here, because $1,800, and they haven't improved shit, and they have it's the nerve of it. Like, there are days that I want to rage. That part. Very much that part. It's the same place that never sent in a dehumidifier when I asked for it twice. It's the same place that did not send in the mold inspector when I asked for it twice. Now that there is black mold, the only reason I handed them that rent check is because the place that I want to move to isn't going to be ready for about another 2 months, because they're professionally having everything redone so that the plumbing is good and so that everything is like clean, ready, good to go, professional done. But it's like, the more I look around this place, the more I'm seeing just all the shit, and I'm trying hard not to be incredibly grumpy about it. Yeah, no, I did. I reported them. I did file a complaint with the city, and the city contacted my landlord and let them know, hey. I'm like, thank you, because they weren't listening to me when I kept saying, hey, could we get an inspector in here? Hey, we had really bad leaks. Could we at least get a dehumidifier in here? Because the attic space is where it starts, but it's going to creep everywhere. And now I get to show them the shower when they come in on Wednesday and go, hey, shower is also fucked up because it was not sealed properly. So for the last 2 years, moisture has been seeping in because it was not caulked. It was not sealed correctly. So I don't know how fucked up behind the wall is, but that's not my fault, and that is not my problem. Oh, I want to move so badly. I thought I would be moving at the end of this month, and I was so ready for it. So when I got the news that the shower that has to be taken out and replaced, they don't print that particular size, so it has to be specialty made. And they had to look at what's behind it, so there's a little bit more. And they're like, the professionals say it's going to be a little bit longer of a job. And I'm like, okay. But yeah, like, I honestly, I do want to move. Aw, thank you so much. Yeah, I've got the half bantam. I've got the fluffy curls going on. I've got the moisturizers. I really do. I hope so too. I truly hope that this move does what I needed to do, and I'm hoping that I can find a slightly better job market maybe around there, because I just want to be successful at something. I know, I'm smart. I'm intelligent. But like, apparently sometimes I'm just too smart for my own good for certain jobs. And other jobs want to deeply underpay me, and I can't. I'm like, let me see. My soul would be gone in about 2 months. I would hate you all in about 2 weeks. And I would not be able to afford rent for even 1 month. No. Well, A, I don't go outside too often. B, this wonderful fluff keeps my face looking very full. And, mostly, Deadpool level humor. Mm, right. I'm just like. So, like, I have a degree. I have 2 degrees, actually. I have one in psychology, and then I have one in fashion design. And for, like, fashion design, when I finally did get a job in the industry, it was as a basically a floor liaison. I was an assistant to a designer, and I made sure that patterns went to cut, that things were being sewn for making samples, so that I can then take those samples over to the fashion houses, where buyers would go to like look at everything, and they would do all that over there, and then I'd go and like pick up all of the new fabrics that were coming in from the different places. I would go down to LA to pick up like fashion notions, that kind of stuff, the dyes and whatnot. And yeah, it's just like, I loved that job. It kept me on a decent routine, but gave me a lot of flexibility into what I was going to be doing each day. But it was literally only paying $10 an hour. So at the end of the month, I was making $1,600 total. And this was in 2015. So yeah, $1,600 total. Before taxes. How am I supposed to afford rent, bills, insurance, food? Like I couldn't. I was living with my parents at that time. But yeah, it's like, how am I supposed to afford to live, let alone pay back my school loans on $10 an hour? And I'm like, WTF? Like, how am I supposed to live, let alone succeed on this? And they're like, I don't know, it's so hard. We might have to file for bankruptcy ourselves. I'm like, if you were in such dire straits, why did you hire me? If you were in such dire fucking straits that you're like a month away from having to file for bankruptcy, why would you hire me on like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago? Like, what the fuck? The math, the logic. Hello. How's everybody doing? Goodness, I gotta remember to sit up further and breathe. I'm multi-streaming, so if you just see me talking off in the corner, don't worry, there's actually a camera there. Oh yeah. But yeah, no, it's crazy how more and more places expect their workers to just work for next to nothing. And if you are salaried, you want to talk about a job that is absolute bullshit. Salary work is absolute bullshit. Especially salary exempt, where you are like 40 hours a week, bare minimum. And then if they decide that they're going to call you in for overtime, they don't pay you anymore because you're already getting your salary. And yeah, I hated that bullshit. So I'm streaming here on the Clock app. I'm over on Twitch and YouTube. I'm doing like a multi-stream, so my OBS allows me to do that without having to completely suck battery power. So yeah. It's got a really nice border and everything. I'm trying to stream more often and whatnot across the internet. I'm trying to, be more bold. I still have such a quiet, introverted voice when it comes to this. I know I seem loud and brassy and whatnot, but just like marketing myself is the problem that I have, because I'm just like, I don't know, I'm just me, I'm kind of goofy. It's like, yeah, but when you market yourself, you have to kind of have a brand. You have to have like a focus, as it were. So it's like, yeah, I, I don't know how to explain it other than kind of sexy, kind of spicy, kind of slapstick. Like, I don't know. Like Three Stooges, but in lingerie. I don't know how to explain this. But yeah, no. I used to do like streaming for video games. I used to do like what was it? I did a little bit of World of Warcraft, a little bit of Overwatch when I first started out, and then also did like crafting, cooking. Just I always found that being able to chat, being able to banter, being able to talk, that's honestly where my strong suit is, as it were. So yeah, trying to find the correct niche for me, as it were. Hello. How's everyone doing? Oh. Oh, I hate. Sorry, it's room temperature water. I'm gonna go get myself a glass with some ice, or a cup with some ice in it, because room temperature is gross. Hello, hello, hello. Ugh. How's everybody doing? Hello. Oh, we've kind of been wandering all over the place. Usually when it comes to fruit flies, I'll set up honey traps. So basically, cup of water, like a little bit of like apple cider vinegar, or even a little bit of fermenting fruit, and then a couple drops of like dish soap, because it breaks the surface tension. So they'll land thinking that they're going to take a sip of, or get on the fruit and whatnot, and they slip in and drown. You can do the fly strips, but those things stink to high heaven. They are. Whew. But yeah, they also do sell like little fruit fly traps and whatnot. Those tend to be the best. But also just make sure that you are, if you have a garbage disposal, make sure you run a cleaner through that, because sometimes that's what they're actually getting their source from, because those things are fucking hard to clean. Hey, how you doing? Hope everybody's doing well. No worries. Like, especially summertime, they're so awful. Oh, thank you. I'm actually using the blue shades this time around. Goes a little bit nicer with the overall. Thank you. But yeah, no, we're talking about anything and everything from like some of the funny stuff on the spicy work sites, as well as the like nearly getting isekai'd today when I was going to get Arby's. So the comedy of it all. Oh yeah, I do love a good bit of eucalyptus. I think mint is also another good one, because it overpowers a lot of the fruity scents and whatnot. Wait, you almost got isekai too? Oh my goodness. Truck-kun is working overtime. Oh man, I swear, it's the freaking the roundabouts. Like, not. I guess not everybody really knows how to work a roundabout. Oh, okay. So, for those who don't know, it's an anime trope. In anime, there was this trope of characters being unalived by getting hit, usually by a box truck that was going far too fast and, rounded a corner and, like, oh my goodness, there's a puppy in the road, and, your main character would take and yeet the puppy out of danger, but then get hit by the box truck and, like, oh no, and then come back as, like, a zombie or some shit. Always, always fun. Or they would get, like, transported to the next life, and the next life was an isekai, aka a hot spring kind of sauna inn, where they would, like, be like, oh my god, this is a totally weird world that has, like, magic and fantasy and all that kind of other stuff. So the trope became getting isekai'd, getting hit by a box truck, basically, to transport you into the next world, and you're like, not today. I got shit to do. Hey. Ooh, mint and eucalyptus. Heck yeah. Oh yeah, no worries. If I ever use a word that you're not sure of, it's totally okay for you to ask me what the word means. I will either explain it or try and give a different example. Like, there's never a problem with that. But yeah, getting isekai is basically nearly getting hit, sent on to the next life, and for half a second you're like, no, okay, no. No, I've seen Goblin Slayer. No, it's okay. No, Thank you, darling. One of my faves. I happened to dig it out of storage. I didn't even know that I still had it, but yeah, fits really well and it's very comfortable. So, yeah. Oh my goodness, we're over 11K. Thank you so much, everybody. You're doing so fantastic. I'm in Long Beach. And I'm near enough to a rather large roundabout. It's got 4 or 5 spokes on it. But yeah, like, for the most part, people in Long Beach are actually pretty damn good at driving. It's impressive. But yeah, like, the box truck did not yield. I had the right of way because I was in the circle, and the box truck that was coming was supposed to yield, and it didn't, and it got real close. I'm like, oh, thank God I got speed. Right? It's why I think it's why I like this dress so dang much, because it's like, yeah, the girl's really girl in this, and it's like, it's really still very well cut, and it still covers, but it's super cute with that little bit of. Oh no, Long Beach, California. Thank God that all I can think is, thank God they don't have roundabouts in, like, Los Angeles. Look, LA drivers, they're not nearly as aggressive as people think. LA drivers drive with a little bit more precision. But I think a roundabout in LA would very much test the limits of road rage. Like, I don't think that would go well. At all. At freaking all. Sorry, that riffle did not go according to plan. So let's see. I'm thinking tomorrow doing maybe about a 2-hour. Tonight might be a 2-hour as well. I might intersperse a couple of, like, randoms throughout, but yeah. I haven't been to the East Coast yet. I would really like to go to the East Coast. I truly would. But definitely not during hurricane season, because my panicky ass would not know what to do. Like, you would just see me hand flapping and rocking in a corner. And people going, don't worry, it's just a Category 1. Category 1? I don't know what that means. We're all gonna die. It's like, no, bitch, Category 1 is, like, safe-ish. I don't know why, but I literally just saw, like, in my mind, Chicago, here's our new roundabout. People, no, no, no. Just getting out of their car, walking back home. Just, no, we ain't doing this. Just all of Chicago just collectively going, we're not doing this shit. Get the fuck out of here with this. You either give us traffic lights or nothing. Okay, nothing. Like, I don't blame you. Because, yeah, learning to use a roundabout is a lot like learning how to do double dutch. It's terrifying. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, like West Coasters, we can't do East Coast weather. We know this. But let them come here. Let them come here and deal with fire season. Let them come here and deal with an earthquake and the aftershocks of an earthquake. They don't know what to do. They've panicked so hard. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. You're like, wait, why are you freaking? The earth is moving. How are you not panicking? Because it's like what? Like a 4.5, maybe 5.0. It's like, it's fine. They're like, no. It's like, if it gets to like a 6.5, then we worry. There's higher? Oh, honey, there are 10.0s. Sometimes slightly larger, and those are the ones you worry about. You can see their brain shut down. Let alone wildfire season. They're like, are you okay? Like, the amount of followers that I've had on here reach out. Are you okay? Are you safe? I'm like, what's going on? Are we having a mass pew pew drill? They're like, no, wildfire. I'm like, oh, honey, no, I'm fine. They're like, are you sure? I'm like, I'm nowhere near foothills. I'm nowhere really near, like major brush or wooded areas. So yeah, like the chances of like Long Beach being caught in a bad way by like that is incredibly low. So yeah, no. Yeah. Hey, I'm doing good. How about you? But yeah, no, like I understand that if I were to go anywhere, I'd be checking out like what kind of season am I going into? Am I going into somebody's like tornado season? Am I going into hurricane season? Am I going into cold snap season? Because that's the other thing. I like the look of cold places. I am not built for cold places. I do not have the wardrobe for cold places. Cold to me is like 50 degrees. Cold other places, they're like, it got to a nice little 17 degrees. I'm like, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, they were like, it was only negative 17. I'm like, oh, you dirty rat. You forgot the negative part the first time around. What the hell? Like, snow. Hell no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That would be set myself ablaze weather. Just, I want to say the last place out of, California is ginormous, but the last place out of California I went, I think it was Nevada, and it was to do a convention. What a boondoggle that one was. See, 47, I would definitely be cuddling up to somebody. I'd be making some bad decisions to keep warm. But I think 47 is at least survivable, okay? It's cuddling weather, but it's not like, sweet Jesus, just end it all. Wisconsin. Wisconsin, I say this with all the goddamn love I have. Are y'all okay? 'Cause negative 50 degrees. What the shit? What the shit is that? How? How? I want to know how. No, and that's the funny thing. I love winter weather, but I'm from Southern California, so I admit my resistance, my acclimation to winter weather is woeful. I look at the Hallmark Channel and I'm like, oh my god, I love that weather. It looks so much fun. You were to actually plonk my ass down in the middle of that weather, I'd be like, oh my god. No, you're gonna send my ass back to Southern California now, or I'm gonna need to speak to a manager. Oh, thank God it's not normal. I thought for some crazy ass reason that was a normal thing. Cause like I had some friends in Wisconsin. They're like, oh yeah, it's like, negative 50. I'm like, what? No, absolutely not. Right. And that is definitely the one thing that we have up on like the Midwest and other cold places. They can handle cold. They come to like Arizona, New Mexico, Nevada, Utah, California, Southern California, and they get one of our heat waves where we're going, it's not hot yet, it's only 95. To watch their little brains just melt straight out their ear hole, they're like, the fuck? I'm like, oh honey, it's not hot till it's over 100. And they're like, what? No. Those are not real temperatures, right? I'm like, 100, 110? Yeah, those are real temperatures. And oh god, right, it's so dry. Like, they don't know to, like, put Vaseline on the inside of their nose when it gets really dry and hot. Just to avoid getting a sudden gusher, so, yeah. Ooh, East Coast moving to Texas. Good luck. Godspeed. I don't know what to tell you. Get some friends, adapt quickly. Okay, so you're up in the mountains, so you get a little bit more weather change. Really? 95 would have you in tears? That's it? Yeah, like, if you come to especially a dry environment, always have water with you. Like, like, that trope of us having, like, all these freaking hydro flasks and all these giant, cups of iced coffee. Yeah, there's coffee in there, but there is enough ice to build an igloo, okay? There is a shit ton of ice in there, mostly because we need the water, and we need it to last all day, and that is the only way to get it to last all day is to make it super freaking cold, and we will work our way through about 2 of these, because it is hot, and it is dry. That part. It actually stays hot well into October. Our Novembers tend to be, like, we're talking the most beautiful, like, 65 to 82 degrees-ish days. At least in the lower lands, like up in the mountains, it's a little bit cooler, but the mountains don't tend to see snow until almost January a lot of times. Like, especially a good heavy powder, you're not going to see that usually till about January, sometimes even into February, like winter. So yeah, it is no joke how very warm it is and how very mild the temperature is usually in fall and winter. So yeah, like again, there's a good reason that we're like, holy shit, it's 40 degrees. It's fucking cold. That is cold for us. When the lowlands, when the low areas get to 40 degrees, it means the mountains are getting freezing temperatures and they're actually getting snow. So yeah, and that doesn't tend to set until roughly Christmas ish, New Year's ish. Like we don't know what a white Christmas looks like, okay? And unless you're an executive and it was the 90s. That part. Like, I love the idea of snow, but ice, especially black ice, is terrifying. And a lot of us don't own snow tires or snow chains. So, yeah. Like, literally, I know this mostly because my sibling was a snowboarder and whatnot. Their vehicle, he ended up getting snow chains for them, and up above a certain elevation, you just had to go ahead and put the chains on. But yeah, like all of the friends would pile into the one car with the one person that they knew that had snow chains. They'd go up the mountain, they'd have their fun, and they'd come all the way back down. Funny enough, like most, I won't say all, but like a lot of the more mountainous regions, either you get like farmers ranchers or you get like for like the little towns, they tend to be expensive places to live, like Big Bear, Mammoth. Those are like touristy places, but for the people who like live there, they either got a house way back when it was not at all expensive, or they are paying premium prices. The place that we lost a couple years ago because of a power line failure, that was an expensive ass town. We are talking like $500,000 homes wiped off the map. Just gone in almost nothing flat. Mm-hmm. That part, like, no, I'm not. Just, yeah, please. If your bosses are like, hey, you need to come into work, especially during a cat, tell them in no uncertain terms to go fuck themselves. Please, 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 please. Do not listen to any boss that tells you to come in during that shit. Oh yeah. No, the demographic for mountain living tends to be older people, people with a bit more money. They still will have places that are like people who live in trailers, but like it's much more by choice. That's their fantasy living is doing those a little bit more often. They still do have plenty of college kids who are like working in the township area, but it's not like they're staying there for like any extended amount of times. Oh yeah, no, their insurance prices are so fucking high because fires are a thing that happen, and bears are a thing that happen. So yeah, like the insurance prices are quite a bit more because of the snow, of the extreme weather, because of the extreme animals sometimes in the area. So yeah, it's like you tend to have a bit more money if you're living in the mountains. If you're living in the desert, those tend to be very inexpensive because of the extreme weather and whatnot. But yeah, like for the most part, if you're living up in the mountain areas, you tend to have a bit of money. Yep, they definitely bribe with more hourly pay, because that's the only way you're gonna get those poor college kids to drive up the mountain to, work at the ice cream store, work at the little thrift store and whatnot. They pay you a little bit better. You feel a little bit more like, okay, I'm getting. What the fuck am I caught on? Oh, sorry. Yeah, so like they pay you a little bit more, but like the wear and tear on your vehicle is also a bit greater. Your insurance prices, because you're going up mountains that have, slides or avalanches and all that other stuff. So yeah, it's like it sort of evens out that they're paying you extra because you're also paying extra for a lot of shit. Oh, oh, yes. I went to Catalina a couple times growing up. I did the oceanography camp out there. Don't ask. I wasn't overly privileged. There were just a few things that my parents were able to send me to, and I liked doing summer camps for some weird ass reason. Probably to get away from my parents, actually. But yeah, I did the Catalina experience a couple times where basically it was fun. It was through the school. There was like a couple dozen of us. We would go, like, I think we left like on Thursday and then we'd come back on like a Monday. And we got to do like night tours. We got to do scuba diving. Not scuba, I'm sorry, snorkeling. Very different, very different. But yeah, we swam with like little leopard sharks. We got to see the bioluminescence, all that kind of fun stuff. The homes on Santa Catalina are fucking expensive. The boats, which practically everybody owns a boat, are fucking expensive. Because these aren't just catamarans. These are like sailing type ships. These are cruising type ships. Nobody really owns like a big luxury yacht per se, but plenty of them own rather large boats that all need to be docked. And the prices are just through the nose. Absolutely through the nose. There is no two ways about that. Catalina also has, I don't know if they still have the population of bison, but Catalina was a used as a conservatory, a reserve basically for the American bison and for foxes, and both of them are deeply inbred on that island. So yeah, I think at first they got brought there for conservation, and then more were brought in for movies. And they just kind of they were like, it was really expensive to bring them over here. We're just going to leave them. And so, yeah, now this fucking island has bison on it. I'm like, bison and foxes. And those foxes love screaming their stupid little heads off at night. Just, they sound like a woman wailing. Just, dah, dah. You're like, and they're like, oh, those are the foxes. I mean, Jesus, why? Just why? Oh yeah, it's incredibly human of us. And I'm just like, yay that you used it for conservation, but why didn't you then bring them back to the mainland when conservation was no longer needed? Because yeah, like those things are so inbred. I'm amazed that they're still reproducing. We're talking bison with horns facing the wrong way, with eyes a little too close together, a little bit wonky. Like, yeah. Oh yeah, I've had quite a few. I'm intuitive. I'm headblind for a reason, meaning I don't like see stuff. So far. But yeah, I have definitely had some paranormals. Luckily enough, I didn't have any paranormal instances on the island, which islands for some reason do tend to retain a lot of energy. Although I'll say, most of the residents on that island, and this will explain why there is so much money, there's not a lot of biodiversity, even amongst its residents. Just say. But yeah. Yeah. But yeah, like all I could think is like, okay, well, mainland bisons could really use like a pep in the step. Like they could use some biodiversity. Why not bring it over the all of the island bison so that they can also get a nice dose of biodiversity, thereby saving the species overall. Like WTF, people, WTF. But yeah, again, it's an island that has been used for many a different thing. But yeah, super fucking expensive. Like it's expensive to just go over there on the ferry and just buy the stuff in the little town and whatnot. To live over there, fucking expensive. Because think, you gotta have everything literally shipped in. You have to have everything shipped in. I don't even think that they allow cars on the ferry anymore, because it used to be a ferry that you could like drive a vehicle onto and then you drive around the island, da da da. I think they kind of either started limiting or even stopped letting new vehicles basically onto the island, because you'd get on the island, you'd drive around a lot, you'd gas up, and that would take away from the resources that the townies or the people who live there would have access to. So yeah, honestly, it's not that big. It's not that big. And you know what? I bet I can look up the overall, the pound for pound. Let me see if I can. Hey. Yeah. They definitely cracked down on like where you could and could not go. Oh, how gross. Ew, not very demure. Not very mindful. Oh, I'm going to get my corsets together. We will do a tour tomorrow night. I will make sure to have them all laid out. I'm also trying to get my... Ow. I'm trying to get my my grommet machine to work just well enough that I can finish off hopefully one or two more. Let me see if I can get... How big is Catalina Island versus, let's say, Rhode Island? Oh, wow, that's not very big at all. I don't know why I thought it was a little bit more comparable in size, but yeah, it's literally only 76 square miles. That is it. So yeah, it's small. It is small. It is something that you would literally, I mean, you could only drive like 20 miles an hour there anyways, but like, yeah, I think it's much more of like a walkable, bikeable city. So yeah, it's small. I think they have a post office. Like they have a township there. There are places for tourists to go. There are, things that you can do. But yeah, like overall, I don't know if it has a school. I honestly don't know if it's. I honestly don't think they have any children there. It is mostly older people that live on that island. Like we're talking like 40s and upwards, and they tend to be well-to-do. So, because yeah, to live on Catalina, you definitely gotta have money. Actually, let me see if I can pull out. Because I only have a very few corsets. Oops. So like this is one of my R&Ds. Right? No, it is a fun day trip. I will give it that. It is a fun day trip. So this is one of my R&Ds, one of my first R&Ds. I tried to do a sweetheart neckline, and that does not work well with the amount of boobage I have. Although, although, maybe I can add a little cross strap to stabilize it. Because that's actually got some good. And maybe if I add boning. Ooh, I bet I could slip a slender bit in there. But yeah, it's already got like, is this German steel? Oh no, this is regular steel. Yeah. So premium velvet. There is a reason I like premium velvet so much. It has such a lovely feel. Such a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous feel. This is though when I was still using, I believe, aluminum grommets, which are not the world's most stable thing. This is why I now prefer like brass and harder metals for it. So yeah, it's gorgeous, absolutely lovely. Of course we've all seen her. And then I am currently trying to repair this one, which had a couple of bad set grommets. So I cannot sell this because I know that it has already had some faults to it. Yeah, this is, again, I love the coloring on it. It's so gorgeous. Fully boned, it's ready to function. I just got to make sure that the grommets are set in properly, because for some reason they want to run, which is. And then this is again another reason I need to get my grommeting machine up and running, because I'd love to be able to finish off this waist cinch, because specifically this waist cinch is not. It's not built for me. It is actually built for a slightly smaller person. So I would like to be able to put this up for sale once I can get the proper grommets on there. And the funny thing is, the holes are already punched. I just literally need a working grommet machine that will set it correctly, because I'm not going to let something out of my care if it is not fit. If it is not like ready, willing, and able to function, I can't let it go to somebody else, because I would feel that I'm doing a disservice to the client, as it were. So yeah, this is an under bust corset, and again, it's made to make you sit very, very high and straight. But yeah, it goes basically up under the bust. And it is definitely a fashionable thing, but yeah, it's going to give you a nice lift under the bust, and it should have that nice peak right there in the middle. So you can wear a bra or not wear a bra. That is completely up to you. But yeah, that one is specifically to narrow the waist. Thank you. So yeah, I did find a place called Gold Star. It's in LA. I usually go there for other sewing supplies and whatnot. They carry a 00 setter that actually will fit the machine that I have. The one that I wanted from Richard the Thread, that's a larger hand press machine, so I wouldn't be able to get the right grip on. I'm your Roman Empire? Why, thank you. I'll take that. I will absolutely take that. But yeah, I'm sorry. Oh god, where was I? Oh yeah, the hand press from Richard the Thread. Beautiful, good industrial machine, but because it's larger, it has a larger bore, it would not fit correctly into my machine, so I was like, I can't just buy their their piece, because that would have been great, because they're hard industrial steel. Absolutely adore them. Though I also did find, and honestly, if I get really back into corsetry making, I need the foot stand grommet setter, because it's literally a machine that I would not have to like try and leverage on a table. I wouldn't have to like try and position this bullshit all over the place. It literally has a loop for your foot and has the punch and the set. So all you got to do is hold, put it in place, and step. Hold, put it in place, and step. When I tell you how much easier that would make making grommets, or making corsets and setting grommets, about 1,000 times easier. Because you're using your full body weight versus having to like leverage yourself over, a hand press. So yeah, like, want to talk about something that would make my life about 1,000,000 times easier. And I think they're only like $500, which I know, it sounds expensive, but honestly, $500 for what it is, and I know that stuff is industrial grade. Fuck yeah, bring it on. Ooh, I wonder if I might be able to find them used. Ooh, I like that idea. But yeah, I want to get back into corsetry making, because it's something that I keep coming back to. It's something I truly love doing, so might as well. Especially if I'm going to do more duets with the Call of Duty / other cosplayers and whatnot. I'm just saying. Not gonna adopt you, darling. Not gonna adopt you. For a number of reasons. Mostly because I never wanted to have kids. But, welcome to the community. Enjoy, as long as you are over 18. Because we're a community made for adults, because I'm a curmudgeon. Yes, no, I make way more than just corsets. Actually, where did I put it? Oh, goodness, pardon. That was wildly uncouth. See if I can line this up correctly. Petticoats. And these are like the layered ones. So a couple layers of tulle with a really nice cotton cover. That way if people end up seeing it, they're not looking directly at your legs, because it's about a little bit of modesty and whatnot. Oh, there we are. Whew. It's a captain's coat. It's supposed to remain open. I don't want it to close. So yeah. Right. And this coat is actually named Bathory because when I make a statement piece, I tend to like to name them. So yeah, I make coats. I make jackets, corsets. I tend to have a very goth feel to a lot of them. Sometimes I do dresses, a lot of like the gothic Lolita type. I tend to work more of the dark colors, but I will work with light colors occasionally, and I love designing that shit. So yeah. I don't work with leather only because I don't have a machine that can work with leather. I've got a really, really nice Husqvarna Viking, and they are fantastic, but I'm not going to try and burn out the motor working with leather, but I would love to work with leather. You have no idea. I think that would be fantastic. But that is a very steep learning curve as well, because leather can be very expensive. Do I? No, I wish I could. I like. I can knit. I can not fancy knit, but I can knit. But I cannot crochet to save my life. There is something about crochet that I either lose the hole, I'm constantly pulling it too tight, I forget my, like, how many Next thing you know, I have a ball of yarn. Just an ugly, twisted ball of yarn. I cannot crochet to save my life. It is just so... can't. Oh, really? I think I still have them up on Coffee. I have one, it's a pea coat called Boy Blue, as in Little Boy Blue. And actually, I think I still have that. I wear roughly an extra large. So that's cotton, because I like wear it in a hot weather climate. So I tend to do like a cotton lining. Just because it'll keep you a little bit cooler, a little bit nicer. But yeah. So yeah, it's a pea coat. Well, I mean, hey, if people would like to start helping me get... Woo, nothing untoward in there, I swear to God, nothing untoward in there, but that was close. It's not medieval fashion, it's Victorian. My focus for fashion was actually very Victorian-esque clothing and Victorian-esque patterning and whatnot. So I absolutely adore using like pea coats, captain coats, like some of the more refined stuff. Honestly, I would love to learn how to make a professional suit, like of that era, professional suit. I especially like doing outerwear, so like the jackets, the coats, corsetry. I mean, petticoats are something you need. So yeah. So I make them because they're simple. It's a lot of straight lines, honestly. But yeah, I adore Victorian, Edwardian kind of stuff. Oh yeah, yeah, like several hundred years. So a lot of people when they say medieval, they're thinking of the Renaissance era, and the Renaissance era was roughly late 1400s to like early 1600s-ish. Medieval is actually like the 1100s to the 1300s-ish. Victorian era is the 1800s, roughly. I'm talking in very large, broad strokes. But yeah, the 1800s, the reign of Queen Victoria the First, I believe, that's the Victorian era, and it was roughly an 80-year span. and it is denoted quite often with the color black, because when Victoria's husband passed away, she mourned him. Apparently, she hated children, but birthed like 7 of his kids, because the D was that good. She liked fucking. And they very much loved each other, so they were all over each other like a fucking pair of bunnies. Just. And yes, we do get the Prince Albert piercing from him. But yeah, the use of lace, white wedding gowns, black clothing, like the popularity, I should say, of black clothing. A lot of that is because of Queen Victoria. And the Victorian era, you get that very beautiful hourglass kind of figure. The Edwardian era, they actually move the line, the wasp-waisted line down a little bit further, so closer to the hip line. Yes, he had that piercing. Apparently, that was a popular piercing back then because so many men rode horses. And you would either tie off to your thigh or tie off to your waistline, so that Jim and the twins didn't get in the saddle. So it was a way to hopefully keep yourself from being damaged. It just also had some good other uses, other wears. So which dress? we've just talked about a lot of dresses. Which dress? Yeah. I used to have such an inventory of like petticoats, capes, jackets, dresses, tons and tons and tons of stuff. But like when I had to start moving around a lot, I got less and less chance to be able to just work on the stuff that I truly love. And what I truly love and what I keep wanting to go back to is making clothing. Especially gothy, Victorian-esque aristo clothing. So, yeah, we might get back there. We definitely might get back there. I've got to start working on an outfit for the early 1900s Halloween party that I'm supposed to be going to as well. So, hello. I know that I'm probably going to use that red corset as a base, more than likely. And I want to do kind of a vampira-esque dress to kind of go underneath. Showing off a decent amount of leg. Then the low heels. I'm still deciding what kind of like a head covering I want to have. But I want to have, just that very, very early horror film kind of vampy girl. So like a low boat collar kind of thing. I think as far as like the early horror mistresses or the campy spooky horror mistresses, it's hard to pick one. Cause Elvira is fantastic. She's my favorite. I grew up with Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, like all of her fun campy like movie reviews, that kind of stuff. I grew up on that, so I fucking love her. And I love that quick, campy wit. If you've ever watched her stuff, that's where I get a lot of that kind of off-the-cuff, innuendo-styled wit, is because I grew up on that. I'm like, oh my god, this is fucking hilarious. So a lot of my humor is kind of styled off of that. Do I have a favorite horror movie? I mean, are we talking horror or are we talking campy horror? Right, and Vampira was like one of the early. She was like the protos. She was one of like the forerunners. She walked so Elvira could do that. Like she was so good at it too. Vampira was fantastic. She had that somber look. Also the early Morticia Addams of the 60s. Love her so much. So good. So good. Um, Hell, even a bit of Betty Page. Like, I absolutely adore Betty Page. It's that kind of fun, refined, campy look, but it's also sexy. And I loved those kind of things because they looked happy being sexy. They didn't look like frightened wearing next to nothing. Like, you could see the difference in the versus the I'm here for a paycheck, please don't hurt me. Like, there's a huge difference. Right? Yeah, yeah. And I love that like none of the vampies that we knew and loved ever felt super pressured to be like super gorgeous all the time, even out of their on-screen roles. Like, a lot of times they would just go around looking very plain. Hell, like Elvira, without the hair, without the low cut dress, like just her regular self, super plain, super chill. Like a lesbian that nobody knew was a lesbian until like years and years and years later, and she's been with her partner for like decades now, which, oh my god, that brings like just a big ol' happiness to my heart that like she found her person, and the fact that she's a lesbian, that makes that like adds a whole nother layer to the funny. Right. Oh my god, yes, the Munsters. Oh, I used to watch that every Sunday. The Munsters was so freaking good, and Lily Munster was just, my goodness. That, and I freaking loved Herman. I really, really loved Herman because he was well-meaning. He was not overly competent per se. And it wasn't like household, just, weaponized incompetence. He was the big lumbering monster. So like he was just always klutzy, and I fucking loved that. Um, he was so much fun. And honestly, the man who played him, and his the actor's name is absolutely escaping me. He's played in so many other roles, including My Cousin Vinny. He was the judge in that. It was so good, and he was like one of the nicest guys. Just a really, really sweet person, and yeah, just absolutely adored a lot of like the early campy horror stuff. Like, I thought it was so much fun that you could be spooky but also be having fun with it. Like, it didn't all have to be, scare the living daylights out of you. It was, it was fun. Yes, also Pet Cemetery. Fuck yeah. Pet Cemetery, and then like I loved like Pumpkinhead was one of the old good horror classics. I'm trying to think of like, again, always like I always come back to Us as being one of my favorite horror films because it was so layered. There was so many layers to it. There's also like one of my favorite kind of spooky is Odd Thomas with Anton Yelchin. Oh my god, another man gone far before his time. He was such a good actor. He had so much potential. Ugh, fuck you, Toyota. Fuck you, Sideways. But yeah, Odd Thomas is so underrated, and it's such a good movie. And I'm not gonna tell you what the twist is. I'm not gonna at all spoil it. If you want to see a good movie that will get you in the heartstrings and definitely keep you interested, Odd Thomas. It is phenomenal. The only thing I will say is have a GD box of tissues next to you. You will need it. It is good. Ooh, High Spirits. That was a good one. That was another good one. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. Dog Soldiers. That was a phenomenally done practical special effects horror movie. It's a werewolf movie. and it's literally basically, I think it's werewolves versus Nazis kind of thing. And yeah, their practical special effects, they did so good making those werewolves. Just like CGI has absolutely zero on the practical special effects that they built for that movie. It was so well done. I don't know why they ever bring in CGI, because CGI does not know what the f it is doing when it comes to werewolves. I think the last good CGI werewolf movie I saw was Van Helsing. And that was an early Hugh Jackman and an early Kate Blanchett. Oh, we were talking about Dog Soldiers. They had really good practical effects. Us is really good because it's like a multi-layered horror. Odd Thomas is a great spooky movie. I won't like have tissue with you. It's so good, so good. Fright Night, yes. And then they did a remake of it with was it Colin Firth and David Tennant, which at first I didn't even recognize David Tennant as being David Tennant. Really? Really? I mean, yeah, yeah, I have a really hard time counting Twilight werewolves as werewolves. To me, they are shifters. Because they shift from being fully human to fully wolf. And there doesn't seem to be like an in-between. For me, for a werewolf, there needs to be like that in-between stage, that Krenos stage, where they're bipedal, but they can also go quadrupedal, where they have kind of that, very much the blend between human and wolf, and they just look like a massive, scary-ass tank. So yeah. Oh, yeah. So Fright Night with Colin Firth, that's actually a remake of another Fright Night that came out, like, I think a couple decades earlier. Oh, is that Love at First Bite? Or Once Bitten? That one was funny. That one was funny. It did have a little bit of an edge to it, but yeah, that one was funny as fuck. Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, for me, it like when it comes to werewolves, there needs to be the in-between stage. That's why I was saying, like, the last good werewolf movie I actually saw was Van Helsing. Whoever made the vampire Dracula vampire bat hybrid and the Hugh Jackman werewolf, whoever did that, please pay them more money. Because those were fan-fucking-tastic, and I'm pretty sure a lot of us just went, I'm attracted to a werewolf and a vampire bat. What the fuck? Okay, this is my life now. Yeah, Once Bitten. Yes. And I'm like, I like good special effects, but I appreciate the quality and crafting that goes into practical effects even more than I appreciate CGI. Because CGI, it can be done well. It can be done well, but it's usually pretty easy to spot. There's just little things about it. But yeah, like, practical effects are so... You gotta craft. You really gotta craft it. And if you can pull it off, ooh, you've got, like, an iconic horror, or you've got iconic fantasy. Just love it. Dracula 2000 and Dracula Untold. Both of those were good. You're right. Those were fucking good. Oh crap, what was it? I think it was Dracula 2000 where, oh no, I shouldn't say. But like they didn't place vampires with Vlad Tepes. Vampires were put on another antagonist of history, and it was Okay, I see you. Okay, okay, okay. We can do this. John Carpenter's Vampires was also a pretty damn good vampire film, and they had some pretty good effects to go with it. Yes. Ooh, I do need to see that. I saw like bits and pieces. I wonder if it's like for rent over on YouTube or someplace decently inexpensive. It looked good, but it looks like cabin in the woods level, and I'm like, I don't think that's quite me going to a movie theater to see, but I can definitely rent. I can definitely rent. And fuck yeah. I love that. I love that so freaking much. I love that so friggin' much. Like there are definitely some good horror films out there. Now there's also horror films that I cannot watch. And I know that I cannot watch them. I tried to watch Hostel and I made it most way through the movie in the movie theater, but literally they don't give you any sort of anxiety break. There is no humor in the film, and all of the actors are truly hateable. They are so not good at their job, save like for like one or two incredibly like side characters, like background characters who were really really good. And then horrible things happen. And like I literally gave myself a bit of adrenaline shock. I started feeling super nauseous and lightheaded and just it wasn't a good film. It was not a good film. I will never watch the Serbian movie, and don't anybody ever suggest that one to me. That one is almost I won't say universally hated amongst the horror community, but anybody who has any amount of empathy or ethics does not like that movie because it is literally ick for ick's sake, and people who like that film need therapy. Honestly, need therapy. Yeah, Human Centipede. That. That one. That was not. Human Centipede honestly felt more like edgelord to be edgelord versus like trying to ride that fine line. Like there is a movie that rides that fine line, and I can't. I like I can't watch it. I know that I can't watch it. It's called The Audition, not Addition, The Audition. I believe it is. I can't remember. Is it Japanese or is it Korean? Any which way you go, it is fucked up. But it is very much, from what I have read, or at least from what I've intake from some of the reviews, it is very much a look at how we view serial unalivers, how we view abuse versus like vengeance, how we view mental illness, especially that in that country. And it is deeply unsettling though. It is deeply fucking unsettling. It is not an easy watch for anybody, so I would say if you're going in, please go in after reading a couple of reviews so that you are not quite literally shocked by what happens in it. But again, it's one of those ones that rides that fine line of social commentary versus, dude, are you okay? I think you need therapy. So, yeah. I still need to. I watched Nope once, but I really need to like go back and see it again because like Nope was again one of those incredibly multi-layered movies, like, there was so much to see in it, and there was so much, like, background Easter egg type stuff that if you were not, I mean, even if you were paying close attention, I'm sorry, I got the hiccups. Oh, good God. With Nope, even if you were paying close attention, there was so much going on and so much commentary being, like, made, both visually in what was happening in the scenes, what was happening in the backgrounds, all that kind of stuff. There was so much social commentary going on that you really need to be able to, like, sit and watch it multiple times to look at all the different layers. Same thing with Us. Same thing with Get Out. It is so beautifully multi-layered that every time you watch it, you see a little bit more, and you're like, oh shit, oh shit. Like, honestly, it took me 2 or 3 watches of Us to really start to understand the implications of what had gone on between the above ground and the below ground. And I'm like, on a base level, it's horrifying what happened to the below ground people, and I understand why they do what they do. But then, like, when you really look at what happened with your protagonist and how, like, in the first go around, you really side with your protagonist, and the antagonist scares the living shit out of you. But yeah, like, the more you think about the implications, you're like, shit. Like, it's so well done. It's so well done. But yeah, same thing with Nope. It's, like, really well done, but super, like, multi-layered. And I adore that. I absolutely adore that. I like things that make me think a little bit more. But yeah. I'm going to take a quick bio break. I want everybody to get up, stretch, get a little water, get a little food, get a little something in you. You can decide on that. Roughly 2 to 5 minutes. We'll be right back. I'm just going to leave that on. There we go. You know, it's fair that you couldn't get into those movies. It is fair that you couldn't get into those movies. Because, yeah, they definitely weren't made for everyone. And, like, the multi-layer could absolutely throw anybody off. So, yeah, like... And again, this is why I don't ever fault anybody for, like, liking or disliking a particular movie, because different flavors for a lot of different folks. There aren't too many movies that I will judge you on, especially since I grew up. My formative teenage years were in the 90s and early thousands, so I got no room to talk. Mm. Mm. Their horseradish sauce needs to be about 1,000% stronger. I remember their horseradish sauce having way more kick. Still a fucking good sandwich. Mmm. Fair. You know what I mean then. You definitely know what I mean then. The internet was the Wild West. We were honestly in it to traumatize each other. And then later on we're like, we probably shouldn't have traumatized each other like that. Oh shit, we gotta protect the kids. We gotta protect the kids. Don't worry, don't look through it. It is hilarious though when the Gen Zs are like, hey, I know something shocking. Have you ever seen? And it's like, dude, we invented that shit. like literally, we invented that shit. Oh, I love Halloween. I like the spooky season. I like the decorations a lot more. It's just a lot more fun. And people get, like, fucking creative. People get so fucking creative around Halloween. Like, I absolutely adore it. I love seeing, like, the random, like, storylines that they put up in their yards. I adore, like, the 15-foot skeletons that are, like, holding signs and, just all kinds of things that they do. I absolutely adore, like, Halloween because it actually pushes people to be creative. Again, nothing against Christmas per se. Sorry, there's something stuck all the way at the back of my denture on that. Pardon me, so uncouth.